I think a lot of people get overly excited or overly anxious when their physique isn't where they want it to be, or their bank account isn't where they want it to be, or their creative projects aren't where they want them to be. And I'm guilty of this myself. I like to grow in all aspects of my life. So if I look in the mirror and I'm not as shredded as I want to be, or if I look at my bank account and it's not where I want it to be, then I get a little anxious. But I heard this concept that I want to share with you now that I think is really helpful for understanding not just our individual goals, but also life as a whole. And it's the idea of seasons. Just as nature has its seasons of fall, winter, spring, summer, we have seasons of our lives as well. Maybe if you're a college student right now, you're under the label of classically being a broke college student. You don't have a ton of money in your bank account, but you're really locked in on school, you're really locked in on your health and fitness, and maybe something else. And maybe that's okay. I'm not saying that you should be broke if you don't want to be broke. But what I'm saying is maybe you don't have to perfect everything all at once. Maybe you don't have to have the perfect body right now, the perfect business or career path set up for yourself. Maybe you don't have to be the perfect student right now. Now, I'm not saying that you should stray away from those goals, but I think this idea of seasons allows us to hone in on the goals that are most meant for us. For example, a goal of mine that I really want to accomplish is learning how to play the guitar. I love music so much. I never learned when I was a kid. I was really busy in a very long season of being a student athlete in high school and in college, which I'm still in. I'm still in college. But I really wanted to learn the guitar. And so I had to kind of ask myself, what's the right time to really begin that? Because if I got a guitar right now, I know that I would not pick it up. I'm in a season of trying to create a little bit more content, working on getting some creative projects out there, focusing on school, focusing on my health. There's so many other things going on that the right time for me to learn how to play the guitar is one of those kind of spacey summers, maybe in a summer or two from now when I don't have much going on. Maybe for my birthday's in June, I'll ask for a guitar and that'll get the ball rolling. But life has its timing, and I think a lot of us don't trust the timing of life. We think that just because our physique isn't where we want it to be or our bank account's a little bit lower than we'd like it to be, we freak out. And I'm here to tell you that maybe it's not such a bad thing. In the same way that during the rainy season of spring, that's the best time to plant seeds that are going to blossom into the summer. Maybe that's the season that you're in right now. Maybe if you're working super hard on a creative project and you're also working super hard in school, you don't need to be obsessing about your physique right now. Now, this doesn't mean don't go to the gym, but maybe it's not the time to be going to the gym 2-hour sessions 6 days a week. Maybe it's the time to be going 1-hour sessions 4 days a week, and give yourself that time. And I think that's really important. I think same thing with businesses too. Now, I'm not a businessman yet, although I aspire to be one soon. And I've heard other businessmen talk about this, businessmen and women, talking about this idea that, there's seasons where your business is booming, and there's also seasons where you're planting for the next harvest, where the profit margins might not be as high, but there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that are preparing for that. I think we have this idea that we're just supposed to be jacked all the time, in our perfect financial state all the time, achieving all of our goals 24/7. And while that's wonderful, life doesn't really move that way. Life kind of moves more like a river current, and it has twists and turns, and it kind of moves at its own pace, and you can paddle upstream or you can start to move with that current. And I think that when you take the weight off your shoulders of trying to do too many things at once, you actually find that your goals are accomplished a lot more quick. And so it's important to ask yourself, what season am I not in, to get things off your plate and just, write them down in your notes somewhere. Like if you have a goal to learn the guitar or start a business or do something else, write it down and trust yourself that you will get to it, that seed is already planted, but it's just not your season right now. You got other things you need to focus on. And then I'd recommend asking yourself, what season am I in? Maybe this is your season to really be in the gym like 6-7 days a week. Maybe that's really what you need to do. Maybe you really got to be going, doing the cardio, tracking your calories on MyFitnessPal. This might be your season for that. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you're finishing up your final year of college, your final semester, and your grades are slipping a little bit. And you just got to say to yourself, all right, I just got to get through this semester. That's the season that I'm in, and you just focus on that. You go to the gym 3-4 days a week, you maintain, but it's not the season to get your dream physique right now. It's the season to maintain the muscle you have, maybe build a little bit, and focus on something else. And so instead of burdening yourself, instead of worrying because you're not where you want to be, start trusting life more. Trust that life is bringing you where you need to be when you need to be there. And that doesn't mean to be stagnant, that doesn't mean to be lazy, but just as we need to put in the work, we also need rest. We also need mental clarity, and we need to enjoy the journey of life. I think, especially for me, that's something that I'm really trying to appreciate as a young person. I've seen a lot of social media trends talking about what would it be like if you were 80 years old and then you suddenly woke up and you were in your current body, your current form. And I'm really trying to live that way because I'm not at all of my lifelong goals yet, but I'm also really, really enjoying the season that I'm in. And the season that I'm in right now is taking care of my health, really focusing on kind of other things too, a little bit of mental health stuff, kind of really focusing on my meditation practice and going to the gym regularly and finishing up school, and then also a little bit of creative projects. But my season for the guitar and for business and other stuff like that, that might be more of a summer season for me. Maybe this spring, that's what I'm supposed to be focused on. And I also want you to think about the idea that there can be longer seasons and shorter seasons. Maybe you have a 6-week season of just really locking in school. And maybe that season isn't so long. It's just enough for you to get by. Maybe you have a longer season where for a whole year, that entire period of time, you're really locking in on your physique or something like that. And so, at least for me, this understanding of the seasons of life and trusting the timing of life has allowed me to take pressure off of myself, to trust that when I'm scattered across 10 different places, I'm not being as productive as I could be. And I'm also not enjoying life as much as I could be, which is really the most important part. And so I ask you now to maybe take some weight off your shoulders and also to hone in on those things that you do have the time for, to make sure that you're enjoying the journey. But if you're in a season right now where you need to be taking care of your health, do that. Really, really do that. Make that commitment. Go to the gym often. Really get that in all the time and trust that the other seasons are going to come. And you don't just lose your progress from one season to another. For example, if the rest of this spring you really locked in on your health and that was the number one priority and maybe school, trust that this summer that you won't lose that progress that you made on your health. It's just you might not be going like this. Now you might just be maintaining all the hard work that you put in and focusing on something else. And I just think that this understanding that we're not supposed to be in all 10 or 12 or 15 important arenas of life. We might not be supposed to be growing all the time in every single one of those arenas. We want to make sure that we're not slipping, but maybe some of them it's okay to maintain and then really focus on one or two that you want to bring up. And then, new seasons will come and go and roll around. So anyways, this understanding of life and the seasons of life and the timing of life has really helped me, and I hope it helps you. And before I finish off this video, I will ask you one more time, what season are you in? What do you really need to be focusing on right now? What do you really need to be locking in on? What is that thing that you're going to be focused upon? And whatever it is, whatever that thing is, I hope you're enjoying the journey, because that's the whole point. That's the secret of life. It's not just about getting where you want to go. It's enjoying how you get there. Thank you.